Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Kid Taj, and today we're going to be doing our Eastern Conference Reserve picks. I don't know why I said our. I'm going to be telling you guys who I think should be on the reserves list for the Eastern Conference in the 2017 All-Star Game this year in New Orleans. I'm going to do the Western Conference Reserves tomorrow. Today, yes, Eastern Conference, we're going to cover, the guys who should be here. Without further ado, let's get into it. First, there's some explaining to do about this, how this works. If you guys didn't know, the reserves for the All-Star Game are chosen by the assistant coaches. I think coaches and assistant coaches, maybe just assistant coaches, in the NBA. And so, they vote for the reserves. So there's no fan voting. There's nothing like it was for the starters. This is actually pretty good because I think it means that the picks are going to be more accurate because the coaches probably know what they're talking about a good deal more than the fans and everyone that voted basically for the starters. Now I'm going to explain the roster, what the roster makeup is. There are 12 players on each All-Star team. Besides the starters, there's going to be another group of 5. So it's going to be just like how the starters were. You get 2 guards and 3 front court players. Another one of those for the backups. And then 2 more wildcard players after those guys, which can be anyone. So I'm going to start with the backcourt. And the backup backcourt, I think, should consist of Boston Celtics point guard Isaiah Thomas and Washington Wizards point guard John Wall. As you guys know, Kyrie Irving and DeMar DeRozan of the Cavs and Raptors respectively have already been chosen for the starting spots in the backcourt for the East in the All-Star Game. So we have Thomas and Wall, who I would argue should have been the starters. They weren't. We got Kyrie and DeRozan voted in. A lot of people were mad about Kyrie making it. DeRozan, I didn't think he should have made the starters. I do think both of those guys should probably have been in the All-Star Game, but just not as starters. Isaiah Thomas, for me, for one, I believe has been the best guard in the Eastern Conference all year long. I mean, he's carried a Boston Celtics team to the 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. He's putting up absolutely insane numbers, around 28 points, shooting efficiently from the field, 6 assists, being the best fourth quarter scorer in the NBA this season. That's no easy task when you're 5'9". I'm not giving him extra credit because he's 5'9". I'm just saying he's been the best. If he's 6'3", he's putting up these numbers, he's still been the best. And he's leading a team to a 3 seed with the numbers he has. It's pretty crazy. I think he's totally deserving. He doesn't have a second guy like the guys in Toronto, Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan. They have each other. Kyrie Irving, he has LeBron on his team. They're in the top 2 seeds, but they've got players to rely on to help them out. I'm not saying that Celtics don't have anybody to help Isaiah Thomas out. I'm just saying they don't have a guy of that caliber. No one else in the Celtics is going to make the All-Star team this year. That's for sure. John Wall, on the other hand, this guy is so underrated. He's led the Wizards all the way to the 5th seed. I'll bet you guys don't even know that right now because they were just terrible to start the season. They started out 2-7 at the bottom of the East. We were thinking, okay, this team, they're just scrapping the season. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe some of you. I was kind of thinking that a little bit because I was like, well, how is this team going to win any games? Boom, they're already in the 5th seed, 23-19 on a total upward trend. They've won 4 in a row, including that game last night, a thriller against the Knicks. Guys, John Wall is ridiculous. I mean, this guy is insane. The way that he plays, the way that he can lead a team like this, he's so all around. He can do everything. He's been carrying, but he does have a pretty good supporting cast, although I still would say that he's done a fantastic job as a playmaker, making his guys better. I think he's done a great job of that. Being a leader, something that he's been criticized for a lot in the past. I mean, he's doing it fantastically this season. I think he deserves a lot of credit for that. And if he doesn't make this All-Star Game, guys, I'm not going to be happy with the NBA, but I'm pretty sure he will. There's a very good chance. I don't see who they would vote. At least if they don't choose him for the backup backcourt, they should put him in the wild cards. Absolutely. Now we're gonna get into our front court for the backups. And the first front court player I picked was Cavs power forward Kevin Love. I talked about it before. I think that Kevin Love is having his best season of his career. And you guys might think I'm crazy because he had greater numbers in Minnesota. Well, he's playing less minutes this year than he did in Minnesota. He's getting the ball less. He has a lower usage rate. He's shooting better percentages. And his team is winning. he's been the ultimate role player for this Cavs team as a star. He's a star. He's back to being a star. I know there were a couple years when he started out in Cleveland, where he was just kind of chilling and wasn't really doing what he was supposed to in terms of the level of production. But this year, that's gone. I mean, he's really been incredible, deserving of this all-star spot for sure. Around 22 points, 11 rebounds, something like that. Very good shooting percentages as well. This team's 30-11. You got to reward him with the spot. The next front court player I had was Sixers center Joel Embiid. I'm very high on the Sixers. I'm sky high on the Sixers. Their playoff chances, maybe they won't make the playoffs, but I do think they'll be a top 10 seed. I said that in my video. I think I posted it yesterday. No, it was 2 days ago. Anyway, I made a video about the Sixers after they beat the Raptors. Joel Embiid is the real deal, okay? As a rookie, averaging 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 25 minutes per game. What else do you want? I mean, he can shoot threes. He's a top-tier shot blocker as well. 2 blocks, 2.4 blocks in those 25 minutes per game. This guy's per 36-minute stats are better than anyone's in the NBA this season, probably. Honestly, I'm not going to base, him off his per 36-minute stats because I don't believe he could put up those numbers in 36 minutes of basketball. There's, more to that. You get tired. They don't go to you nearly as much. When you're in the game, they take advantage that you're in the game, and he's able to do whatever he wants. He's so dominant. I mean, he's the process like we all know, and he's got to be in this game, okay? I will not be happy if he doesn't make the game either because I like this guy. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's better than most of the other really good young players. I think he's better than Porzingis and Andrew Wiggins. Guys like that, maybe even Karl Anthony Towns. Call me crazy, but I have arguments to back you up if you want me to make a video about why Embiid is really the best young player besides Giannis, okay? The best player 22 and younger. I can make that video because, I believe that's how great he is, and he deserves his all-star spot. Now, my last front court spot goes to Paul George. He was a starter last year, and I think he's going to make it again this year. People think, people have this misconception that he's been terrible. He's been a disappointment. He hasn't been nearly as good as people expect him to be. He's shooting pretty well from the field. He's averaging around 22 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, and the Pacers are in the 6th seed right now. I mean, he's been pretty solid all year long. Maybe not exactly what we expected from him because we thought he would take a leap forward, but still a very, very good player. He's still a star player in this league, and he should be in this game. Not really much explanation on that one. And then we got our wild cards, and in the wild cards, I went with point guard for the Raptors, Kyle Lowry, and point guard for the Hornets, Kemba Walker. The Eastern Conference is very guard heavy when you talk about talent. We have a lot of guys in that guard position that can just do so much, that carry their teams. I mean, you had Kyrie and DeRozan starting this game, who personally I said I didn't think should be starting either of them, and I would start Thomas and Wall. And then we got Lowry and Walker, and I still think Lowry, has had a better season than Kyrie Irving and DeMar DeRozan. I think the top 3 guards this season, so far this season, who's played the best, I think you go Thomas, then Wall, then Lowry, personally. But Lowry's got to be in this game because he does so much for the Raptors team. He's the number 1 guy on that team. I know you guys might, love how DeRozan scores all those points, but when it comes to everything being all around, being scrappy, being able to set up the team, efficiency, this guy is it. I mean, he does everything on the basketball floor. He defends well. He's a playmaker. He's a fantastic 3-point shooter. And what I think is that personally, DeRozan really feeds off him more than he feeds off DeRozan because Kyle Lowry's 3-point shot opens up so much for DeRozan's game. He's able to drive in and get his baskets, get to the free throw line without a defender guarding Lowry closing in on him, because Lowry's such a threat from the 3-point line and he's got deep range. It helps so much. And as I said, Kemba Walker has done a good bit of carrying for his squad as well. He's been fantastic. Started off the season very good. And, he's slowed down a little bit, but the Hornets are in the 7th seed. He's led that team. And yeah, I think that that's as good a reason as any to put him in this game. He's been great. And yeah, I say put him in. So to recap, my Eastern Conference reserves were Isaiah Thomas, John Wall, Kevin Love, Joel Embiid, Paul George, Kyle Lowry, and Kemba Walker. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and idea down below for a new video. Subscribe if you're new. Also, comment to me if you disagree with me about what I said about Joel Embiid being better than Kristaps Porzingis and maybe Karl Anthony Towns or whatever. Do you agree with that? Do you not? And if you don't, I can make a video why I think that, and you guys can watch it. So yeah, subscribe if you're new. I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.